Hello and welcome to another video. We are at the river, as I'm sure you can hear, and the plan is to put the tarp up, light a fire and hopefully spend the night. Now, camping quilt, which I'm sure if you're familiar with my channel you'll know that piece of equipment very well by now. And I also got an extra pillow. I don't have thermals or anything with me. I've just got a change of socks, hat and the gloves, and obviously my fleece jacket, so I will be relying on this fire to keep me warm. You can't have a fire without wood, and I did bring a little bit of wood to get me started. Various bits. There's a couple of normal kiln dried pieces, but there's also sort of old trimmed pieces, and there's a bit of birch bark in here somewhere. Yeah, a bit of birch bark. So I'm not worried about getting a fire started, despite the fact that everything's wet. And yeah, this mesh bag I made myself. They're quite useful. I'm just going to walk down to the edge of the river and see if I can find anything interesting to show you guys. If you crunch a little leaf like that between your fingers and give them a sniff, you should smell garlic, because that is a wild garlic shoot. And these are fab, you can just pick them and eat them. But you must be very careful, especially in the spring when they're very, very small, because they grow amongst other things that look very similar. So make sure that you only pick one leaf at a time, and make sure that when you crush them between your fingers you do get that really, really strong garlic smell, because otherwise you could be picking something that is potentially dangerous. There's some horse's hoof there. So when the water level drops in the spring, you get these lovely little pieces of river glass. They just sort of get deposited on the bank. And I quite enjoy collecting this stuff up, because it's really nice for jewellery and just general wild crafting projects. And you never know what colour you're going to find, you never know what shape you're going to find. But I also feel like I'm helping to clean up the environment a little bit as well when I'm removing things that aren't natural. So before it gets too dark, I'll just show you my setup for the night. 3x3 tarp in a plough point, which is my favourite configuration. And then I've got a ground sheet, a thin fleece blanket, my camping quilt and pillow, sleeping pad, my rucksack, and then obviously there's the fire pit that's always there. And I've got some wood as well. A bit of hazel here that's all kind of hung up and dead, so this stuff will be perfect to start the fire tonight. The sun sets very quickly at this time of year, but when you've got a limited supply of wood you're kind of hesitant to light the fire too early, because ultimately it's going to be dark probably for about 12 hours, and considering I'm needing this fire for heat tonight, I don't want to light it too early and burn through all my wood, and then it gets to, I don't know, 2 in the morning and I'm there shivering. So this birch bark is a little bit damp, but that doesn't matter because it will light even if it is wet. And I've got these 2 birch polypore here as well. They're absolutely soaking wet, so I'm going to hang these up and hopefully dry them out over the fire so that I can take them home with me. So they're not going to be right over the top of the fire, but they'll hopefully dry out slowly overnight. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but that is how damp these mushrooms are. You won't be lighting a fire with those as they are. I'm just carving a fork for my dinner for later. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work. And I think that will work. It's gone out. Using this log to get the brace from the wind. It might not seem like it on camera, but there is a breeze coming past here, which is strong enough to put a tiny flame out. There we go, 2 tries. I'm going to have a little go with one of these pre-made designated marshmallow toasting sticks. It says on the packet that they're made out of bamboo, so with any luck they won't catch fire. Be careful when you do this because you don't want to burn yourself. Just open that fire up a little bit so I can squeeze my cup in there and get some water boiling. It's a little fork that I made earlier. Right, that fire is finally kicking off a reasonable amount of heat. And a reasonable amount of heat means a reasonable opportunity to get some sleep. So I'm gonna snuggle in and I'll catch up with you guys either in the morning or if something interesting happens. Get myself tucked in. Right. Light off. See you in the morning, guys. I just woke up for a pee and it's 5 AM. It's freezing. It is currently 0 degrees with a real feel temperature of -4, which wouldn't normally be a problem. But I don't have any thermals and I also don't have my wool blanket either. So they're like the important things to be able to go into the minus temperatures. So I think I'm just gonna huddle by this fire and do some cooking and stuff like that and just wait for the sun to rise. And then I'm gonna pack up and get out of here, because it's absolutely freezing. Just restoke the fire and these mushrooms have dried out a lot, so they're now dry enough for me to put them in my bag and take them home. Good morning, officially good morning, because it's just started to get light. I didn't sleep very well at all. I think I had maybe a couple of hours because it was so cold last night. We had a real field temperature of -4, which wouldn't have normally been an issue, but I had no thermals and I had no wool blanket, so it was really pushing the limits of the equipment that I have with me. So I'm very cold, very tired. Yeah. I'm going to warm up by this fire for a little bit, and then I'm going to pack up and I'm going to get out of here. Well, the only thing left to do now is put the fire out. So I'm going to call it here. If you like what you see and would like to see more videos from me, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, etc, etc. But I'm cold, I'm tired, so I'm going to go home. But thanks again, and I will see you in the woods.